Today on The Riff, Jeremy and Justin talk about biohacking. I'm definitely listening to this one after my red light therapy session. We hope today is helpful and hopeful. Thanks for listening.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Riff. Justin.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Good to have you.
Oh,
you look distracted there.
I say this a lot. I just get nervous that I haven't hit all the right buttons.
Have you hit the right buttons? And it is important, and excuse us while we confirm, because thanks for appreciating our time, because we would hate to record this and then not record it.
Well, that would be a waste of time.
Yeah. So I'm willing to waste 30 seconds there to make sure that we...
And it looks like we're good. So if you're listening to this...
Yeah.
All right. All of them were hit.
Well, welcome. Yeah. So Justin, today... I could tell when we broached the conversation of what topic we hit today. I could tell right away. You're like, this is gold. Mm-hmm. You didn't give that to me right away. Mm-mm. But then when we couldn't come up with anything else, you were like, hey, that one thing, maybe that was gold.
That's going to be awesome.
But it's an accident. Couple things, actually.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I might. Yeah.
You know, okay, I don't like that. You know I can't do that.
I watched a show.
Okay.
A documentary. Do you like documentaries?
I love documentaries.
Okay.
I'd say they're my favorite. Documentaries are my favorite.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. I've really been into documentaries. So Brian Johnson, you know who he is? The multi-tech billionaire?
No.
Who wants to live forever?
Yes.
Yes. And he spends $2 million a year on his health. I watched this. He's got a documentary of just his life and how he's trying to slow aging and all this. It was fascinating.
Okay, I listened to a really interesting conversation. I didn't listen to it. Jamie told me about it, and then I looked it up. And it's a conversation on biohacking and longevity of life.
Okay.
And the whole idea, Krista Tippett, you know that name?
Krista
on
Tippett?
Bean. Yeah, on Bean. That whole
Mr. Bean?
No, on Bean, not Mr. Bean.
Oh, she was on Mr. Bean? Yeah, I probably know who she is then.
She's walking through this thing of this exact thing, right?
Okay.
And asks the question, why is it such a big deal right now with biohacking and red light therapy and cold plunging and all this stuff? None of this is bad. But the idea of having a long life, her theory is because we don't have a meaningful one. So she was like, if you have a meaningful life and every day is packed with meaning, death is welcome to you.
Wow.
Right. It's like a
Well, in the show they bring this up. This guy has done a lot of things. I mean, he's reduced his every year. He only ages 0.65 years. So what he's saying is he's getting October, November, December back, right?
Which are great months.
Those are
great months.
Right. And so now so it's all these things, but ultimately, you can reduce your skin age, you can reduce your heart age or lung age, but one of those organs goes bad. That's what I was thinking. You can do all this work. All it takes is one of those things to, they all have to get younger. But so he spent all this time. I mean, he goes to bed at 8:30 every night, gets up at 4:30 every morning. He's got this regimen. He's got 100 pills that he does a day, and all this blood work, and it's not sustainable. At the same time, some of these scientists were saying, while his isn't science, because he's got 1,000 supplements, and so it's impossible to know which one of them, if any, are even working. But what we like is if he's willing to use himself as a lab rat, maybe we can learn from something. And then if it's legit, or if there's this thought that anything could become legit, then the price would go way down because now a lot of people would use it. So it was interesting, but one of the things someone was describing him, they're like, man, this is crazy. He has no life, absolutely no life, no room for relationships, no room for compromise, no room for community. He has no life because he's trying to extend his life. And she's like, I wonder what it would look like if he just lived the life he had instead of punting his life in order to extend his life. And I thought, oh my word. And now the guy, I was also watching thinking, I hope he's onto something. And but he started selling all these things, right, on his website. And he's, whatever on his website, everything he uses all day long. You can click on it and go right to a link on Amazon, and he gets a portion of it, whatever. So he's making money. I'm sure he's not doing it to make money because he's got so much money, but maybe he's got so much money, and so he just thinks of how to make money. But wow, I thought that was fascinating.
Is that what we're talking about today? Biohacking?
Yeah, I think so.
I like that.
How long would you want to live if you can live at any length of time?
Okay, I think 83 is my number.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's vaguely specific.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna be pretty, I think, vibrant until about 79.
Okay.
And then I'd like to have 3 or 4 years just kind of wind down.
Struggle with incontinence.
Yeah, just kind of.
Right?
No, I think it's right before that line. Like when that first happens, I'll be like, oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, well, it's time. It's time to head on out.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
What's your number?
I don't know that I have a number. I've never had a number.
I just know I want to die before Jamie. That's very selfish. But
Yeah,
I've really
no.
decided that in my mind.
Really?
Well, yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
just
I
the
don't-
emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like for her to.
Leanne has told me before she wants me to say that, and I've stopped short of saying that because I'm like, well,
she wants you to
she
die?
wants me to say, don't you want to die before I do, just because it'd be too hard on you emotionally? I'm like, well, I don't want to die, so I'm not ready to say that, but. But it's two conversations. Like, would it be hard on me? Yes. Would I be willing for it to be hard on me and still live? I don't know. So I don't have a number. Here's what I think. If I had my druthers, I would want to see my grandkids, right? And I don't have any, but I would want to live to the age where I was healthy enough to interact with grandkids through their early adulthood, right? And if I had that, I would feel like, man. I also have this mentality of death that if it happened tomorrow, and this is a recording, would you say in Requiem? I don't know how they say that.
Oh, for what?
Like when Heath Ledger died and they still showed his movie.
Oh, post-mortem? Is that what I'm
That's
looking for?
it.
Yeah.
If this episode were post-mortem, because I don't know, let's say I'm playing pickleball and playing doubles and someone hits it right down the middle between me and Taiwo. And if you don't know Taiwo, he's a very intense pickleball player. He's a North Pointer. He's built like a Greek god. And so when he hits the ball, it's super hard. And if they go right down the middle of us and I go for it, but he tries to hit a wicked forehand, hits me in the temple, and all of a sudden it's done. Let's just say
That's how
it
you.
works. I don't know.
I have always.
That's not how I want
imagined
to
it.
go.
I've always imagined it. You choking on a Cheez-It. But like respectfully, like not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I would think that's why I chew them up.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm more concerned that I chew them up and not all the way. And so it just kind of like clogs like this wet, Cheez-It ball in the back. But nevertheless, if this were in postmortem, I'm not afraid of death in the sense of I'm afraid of how it happens for sure. And I'm nervous about that process. But I do have this outlook that I'm like, okay, whenever it's done, my belief is that right after that, there'll be a completely different way to see life and to the perspective of life. I believe it's relationship forever with Jesus. I believe, if that's true, that when we all get to heaven, then it will not be this like, oh man, I only had 32 years, I only had 67 years. Oh, sweet, I had 92. I think whatever it looks like on the other side, it's not going to be an issue of how long we were. It's going to be an issue of what did we do with it, right? Did we enjoy the life we had instead of did we extend the life we had? But it's super sad on this side for those of us who lose someone because it's our loss, right? And I always told Leanne, I said, man, I want my funeral. Don't get up there and tell everybody like Jeremy won't want you to cry. I'm like, no. Everybody, I want you all to cry. I want this earth to be like, we'll get over it. But boy, oh boy, is this a sad moment because of our personal loss, right? Yeah. So, but the question is, how are we taking advantage of it? Have you ever done a bucket list?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
What are some things on your bucket list that you've not yet bucketed?
Well, it grows. I mean, it changes, right?
Okay.
So I want to take the girls overseas. I want them to see like Europe, Italy.
Really?
Yeah, France. I want them to experience that kind of culture, and I want to do that with them.
Okay.
Like I want to be with them. So in an age that they're probably like teenagers, somewhere in that area.
Okay.
That's definitely something I want to do with them.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you ever traveled like anywhere like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jamie lived in Italy for a while. So then I went over there and we backpacked it. It's awesome.
Okay. So when you say backpacked Italy,
Yeah.
like hostels, like
she was in like host homes.
Okay.
But she taught English to Italian students.
Okay.
And then she traveled different cities. And then when I got there, we just went from city to city. So it wasn't like we were hosteling it up. Like we stayed in hotels, but we trained everywhere and then went to different cities and just kind of lived for a 2-week period. But she was there for 3 months.
Okay.
She was there for a while. Yeah.
Have you ever had something on your bucket list and you intentionally went out of your way to do it because it was on your bucket list?
No.
Like I've not, but yours sounds like it sounds like you have a pretty decent plan for the thing that's on there.
I have no plan, just a want. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's just there's no plan. Yeah.
I've never done I'm sure I've done a bucket list at some point with some type of lesson or different kind of things over the years, but I've never captured it in a way where I've looked at it and returned to it. Like I don't have a bucket list. But I think the idea is are we doing today? Are we taking advantage of the relationships? Are we having the conversations we want to have? As a parent, what are we doing today to add life to the time we have, right? What are we doing as a spouse and in our community? And I think that's so important. When is a time in your life that you felt like, okay, this is the most valuable thing. If I can do this for a long time, that's awesome. This is valuable. This is what I'm doing.
I think there's been multiple. I think for me, it's so interesting because I think when you're in the moment, you think this is the only thing. This is it.
Yeah.
And then when that moment passes, you realize it was a moment.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, like with the bucket list, why I say I have a want but not a plan, it's like I have a plan to parent my kids and to be a really good dad with them. And that might take place in Italy one day for a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we'll get to that spot. But that's why I don't like bank on these bucket lists of like, because I know that when we get there, if we were to do that, it'd be like, that was neat.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. That's not the goal. So I think looking back at different moments that I've been in or different situations that I've been in, I'm just trying to enjoy the moment, like for what it is, knowing that it's passing, knowing that everything is going to pass away, like it will not last forever. So I'm just trying to enjoy it. I'm just trying to enjoy the day. I'm trying to enjoy the week. And then whatever comes after that, I'm sure I'll enjoy that.
Right.
Because I have a history of enjoying things. So I don't know what's next. I have no idea what that looks like. I don't know what those pieces or those elements are. But does that answer that question?
Yeah. Paul writes, there's a verse, I think it's a really cool verse, says, redeem the time because the days are evil. And that, to me, that verse has always been like, okay, bring back the value. It's redeem, right? So bring back value to every day you have. Redeem your time. So don't just go through time. Take advantage of the time. And the days are evil, not saying, oh, these are evil days and bad things are happening, meaning that these days go quickly. And if we're not redeeming the time, all of a sudden now it's like it went too soon. We have regret. We have shame. And most of us know what it's like to have shame on the past or regrets from the past. And so redeem the time. And so I would say for all of us to think, okay, what are we, it's interesting is what are we going to do to not extend our days, but to extend our meaning in our days? We've all had people that we've lost, but I want to think specifically some of like grandparents' age. Like if you've and I know we've both been through that where we do a funeral with a grandpa or grandma. You know, when my grandpa passed this last year, it wasn't something that the whole room was like, man, this is too quick, because he lived a great life. And it was that sense of sorrow. And I've been to funerals of young people, and it's terrible. And for me, it's not terrible because what's happening to them now, it's terrible because we're like, man, we had so much time we want to take advantage of. And now it is a real sense of loss. And then you got to trust God in the situation to say, okay, God, you have to be taken care of. Like those funeral moments of like, God, all right, please take care. We're trusting into your good hands, this loved person. And then we're like, even if we did redeem the time, we want more time. All I have to say is watching that documentary of Brian Johnson, a guy who's so controlling his time and so confident he's going to live forever. And I'm thinking, I bet he looks like a lot of us on the inside of like, I feel like I'm going to live forever. I feel like I'm in control. And I'm thinking, we're not. And I Googled as soon as the show was done, I Googled, is he still alive? Because I thought, just that thought of like, how ironic would it be if you spend your entire life trying to extend your life and again, it's like that story in scripture about the guy who got so rich. He's like, I got a great idea. I'll build bigger barns because my barns are full, right? And it's like, you have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. So
no, and that's like I don't know if you read Richard Rohr.
I have, yeah. Enneagram guy.
He is an Enneagram guy. He has a book called Falling Upwards, and it's all about the second stage of life and how death is meant to be a gift. Like it's meant to like bring maturity to the life that you have. And he also talks about like those moments that death comes early for people, like the sorrow and the sadness and the grief is, yes, you have lost them, but like the loss is like that second half of life. The actual like falling upward moment is lost. So he talks about, and Jamie's gone through a ton of grief, walked through some stuff, and stuff that she's brought home has been just incredible. But it's like, it's not going to get better. It's going to get different.
Grief.
Yeah, just the loss. Like there's this idea of like, oh, best is yet to come. It's going to be better. It's like, it won't actually, because what you have in your mind of what was going to be the future will not be that. So it will be different. And can the different be good and better? Yeah. But you have to like reframe your brain of understanding like, and that's what we're talking about with like the bucket list thing. Like, I don't know what it looks like in 10 years. I know what today looks like.
Right.
So I'm going to focus in on that and really, really love the moment. And man, if we get to that space, cool. Yeah. Awesome. We'll have goals. I love goals, right? But the idea, Tal Ben Shahar, you know this name? This guy, he's awesome. So he writes, he's a Harvard professor, writes with very similar like an Arthur Brooks and writes on happiness, but talks about how goals are not these distant shores that we try to get to because they never are a shore. They're always guiding stars just to move you into a direction to go. That's all it is. So he's like, don't put your goals in this like jar where you're just like idolizing these things. And you're like, one day. It's like, no, it's made for you to move. Like it's just put up there, get you in the right direction and move. And then as you're moving, there's going to be another star. You're like, oh, take a left. Okay, cool. But there's never a moment where we're like, we did it. We made it to the shore. And if you have those moments, you realize that the shore sucks. It's like, this is what I was doing it for? This is it? Like, this is not what I thought. So, when I hear that story of that guy, I'm just like, what a weird life.
Yeah.
Like, what? And exactly what you're saying. Like, is that a life? Like, to focus on your life?
Right. I mean, it sounds like it's like someone trying to be a vampire, like in that sense of like, I'm going to live forever. I mean, he's literally having blood plasma transfusions from younger people, and so I mean, it's just the weirdest stuff. And it's just that thought that you're talking about, that destination. It made me think about the shores are not the goal. is anytime we go on vacation, my favorite part of vacation is planning on vacation and thinking about vacation, anticipating vacation. Sometimes my least favorite part of vacation is vacation. And I love vacation. And I do, I mean, there's been so many great ones, it's time with people, but you realize the idea of spending time totally focused on your family or whatever it might be for you for vacation. That's the goal. And if you're doing it in a hotel, you can do it at your house, right? You're doing it at an amusement park. You can, I guess, do it at Silver Dollar City, but bottom line is what makes us so excited is the people we're going to do it with, probably. Right. And so, how do we do that now? So let me ask you this as a dad. So you have this sense of, okay, I want to redeem the time with my girls. I want to, maybe one day take them to Europe. How does that impact how you interact with them now?
It impacts how I pray for them.
Okay.
That's a big one. And it also impacts for some reason, I don't know why, I get so emotional at night. So I don't know if it's like a hormone thing. I don't know what's happening. I don't know.
Night sweats out your eyes.
But when they are sleeping, I lay with them every night. Like I'll lay in the floor in their room. And for some reason, they're hilarious. They have separate rooms. And for 7 years, they've never slept alone. They're always like, yeah, I'll sleep in Ella's room. Or like, they're always together. And I'm like, you guys sure? Like, yeah, cool. So I always lay in the floor with them. And for some reason, there's like that is the most present I am. Just like, it sounds creepy, but like watching them sleep, like just understanding like how vulnerable they are in that moment. And then I'm like, I am like responsible for them. Like it's just a very heavy moment, but also a very like thankful moment to where I also know that I'm not going to be that guy forever. Right.
Yeah.
So the moments that I do have with them, like I just want to love them so well that they see what Jesus's love is, and they're like, "Oh, that's attractive. I think Dad had something that I want. Like that's cool." And I also want them to know that they're just safe, right? And not even physically. I can't keep them safe physically. I can't keep them, but just like spiritually, mentally, like I want them to have a safe space in our home. So those two things for me, like, are monumental. But it's mainly at night, which is so weird. I don't know, but I cry a lot at night. It was weird. I might need counseling.
That's what the Riff is for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great.
Do you think their future husbands one day will be weirded out that you're laying on the floor?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, if they marry the right guy, he'll understand.
He'll be fine.
He'll be
I
like,
don't lay there forever. It's just a couple minutes.
Good night, Pops. Pops-in-law.
Good night, son. Can't wait to watch you sleep. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit creepy, but no, I think that it helps me really like frame it and knowing that like I'm not going to have those little girls as little girls forever.
Right.
So I'm going to enjoy those moments. I'm going to parent those moments, and I'm going to remind myself daily, like even in the hard times when I'm like, what are you doing? You're crazy, right? Yeah. Like realizing like I'm going to miss those crazy times. I'm going to miss the hard times. So yeah, it's those moments, making sure that I carve out literally daily, for me nightly, a moment to be thankful, grateful, and realize that this is not going to last forever. And that's what makes it beautiful.
Yes.
So when you talk about this guy like trying to make it last forever, I'm like, you're missing the beauty. The beauty is that it ends.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do you do? I mean, you have older girls now.
Yeah.
So what?
Well, I was going to ask you that is when you go to weddings, have you gotten to the spot now where you're like, that's going to be my daughter one day?
Oh, I was there before they were born. Yeah, I was. For sure. Yeah, definitely. 100% on that.
I mean, everything changes, right? Time and seasons change, and as parents, for your kids. And so I remember when Janaea went off to college, so it was our first time we had someone that our whole full-time role was to nurture and to, in our minds, we're the ones protecting them. wasn't true. That kept us with the illusion of control, right? And so then when we dropped her off at college in Florida, so we're like, okay, this is a long way away. If she has a bad day, if she, how are people going to treat her? What happens when she gets sick? Everything that we all go through, I'm like, we can't get there. We just can't get there. And thinking, man, all the times that she had a bad day at school and text me, or something, I'm like, I'll be there with McDonald's fries or something. Now I'm like, ugh, and we don't have anybody. And I remember when we dropped her off, I'm boo-hooing. And so we're in the lobby of her dorm, and then she just, when it was time, like, I don't want to leave, right? And she just whisked around and marched up the stairs and never looked back and went right to her. And she was crying, but she's like, I got, time. It's new season. Let's go. And, Leanne turned and looked at me as we were walking back to our car to fly home. She's like, man, we might never see her again. Because this is the first time we realized we're your protector. And then, and so we're like crying about it, and then we're laughing about it. And we're like, okay, we were never your protector. God allowed us to be stewards. Or we want to be stewards of the gift that God gave us for whatever time he has given us in this role. And, and then obviously, with giving your daughter away in marriage is another kind of moment there where you're like, oh, I'm not your protector, right? Never was, but I did play a little role to help in that. But I am not in charge of her safekeeping. I'm not in charge of my kids. I'm in charge. I love how you said it. I want them to better understand the love of Jesus because of the way I love them. And there are times where I'm sure I made it more confusing because of the way I loved them. But overall, the larger arc of it, hopefully they're like, it's easier for them to process God's love. And because of that. So yeah, for me, I'm like, let's rock every season, that we have with them in different ways and take advantage of it. But same with the spouse, sometimes the spouse too. That's what I realized. Those listening, maybe it's a kid thing and we're just getting all sentimental today because of Brian Johnson's documentary. But as a spouse, one of the things you realize is when like the kids went off to college, instantly hit us like, how much focus emotionally has been towards the kid. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I've not been giving this same emotion to my spouse. And not that there weren't emotion and connection, but the thought of like, oh my word, and a lot of people have that crisis in their marriage because they realize, oh, there hasn't been this investment. So I think the redeeming quality of the conversation is your life isn't about how long you make it, isn't about one day you're going to be healthier than everybody else in your nursing home. Your life today is what matters. Redeem the time. And no matter how long, let's not try and be God and play God. Let's trust God. And then God trusts us to redeem the time. So Brian Johnson. Yeah. And
how old is he right now?
I think he's 22. No, he's I think he's like 49 or something, and maybe early 50s now. It's pretty creepy. It's a cult. So, but fascinating to watch. So, all right. Well, Justin, I hope you live to be 138, 183.
Nope, just 83.
Just good old 83.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna ask you when you're 82. I'm going to ask you if that's still your goal.
I like it, but it's just a guidance star. So 40 today. I'm just traveling. That's all it is.
40.
Well, not today. My birthday was not. It's not today.
But today you are 40.
Not today. Well, yeah. I mean, I am like currently 40, but
we're both in our 40s. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good.
I love it. All right, Riff. Have a great week and redeem those days.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Riff. We'll have a brand new episode every week, wherever you find podcasts.